Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your workouts when you are short on time. Before I get into this topic, if you guys need coaching, check out the link down below. I'd love to work with you. If you're interested in a custom workout and currently feel a little bit overwhelmed and trying to figure out how to piece things together to reduce the amount of time in the gym, check out the link down below. My custom workout service is only $39. All right, let's get into things. So training on days when everything is going well, hey, that's a no-brainer, right? You get into the gym, you have all the time you want. Don't we wish every day was like this? But there are many days when we hit the gym, when we are pressed for time, we have to get home, we have other obligations, we have to rush, and we're trying to figure out how to shorten our workouts or compress our workouts to still get a lot of value out of them because we don't want to lose gains. We want to compress the workouts, but maximize the results. And that is what I am going to show you how to do in this video. I have 5 simple tips. Now, I want you to make sure you stick around to tip number 5 because this is something most lifters don't think about. All right, tip number 1. Let's start by reducing the impact of the big compound lifts. Big compound lifts can take up a lot of your time. We're talking about things like squats and deadlifts and bench press and RDLs and even things like barbell rows where you have a lot of warm-up sets. The first thing we want to do is reduce the amount of time we're spending with these big compound lifts. I don't want you to drop them because we want to keep our momentum moving forward. But on the big compounds, consider reducing them to 2 sets, or if you're in a really tight pinch, there's no harm in reducing them to 1 working set. You're keeping your momentum going, and you can still attack that set for maximum safe quality reps and get a lot of value out of that movement. The last thing we want to do with a big compound movement is not do it at all or put ourselves in a position where we haven't done it in a couple of weeks. So when it comes to the big compound movements, don't hesitate to reduce it down to 2 sets or even 1 set. We can still get a lot of value out of the lift, and it'll push us forward in a good position to attack this lift next week. All right, tip number 2, cut back on your unilateral exercises. What the heck is a unilateral exercise? A unilateral exercise is where you're doing both sides of the body. So it kind of feels like you're doing double the amount of sets. What are examples of unilateral lifts? Like a dumbbell row, a single arm dumbbell row, a lunge where you're doing 1 leg at a time, or a Bulgarian split squat where you're doing 1 leg at a time, or any other single arm or single leg exercise you might be doing. And we're talking 3 sets for each side, which are 6 total sets. This is a big time investment. So if you have a unilateral exercise, consider dropping it down to 1 set for each side. This will shave off time from your workout and you can still get in some quality work on that exercise. All right, so tip number 3 on non-major compound movements, and we're talking about big hitters that aren't squats and deadlift and bench and barbell rows and that sort of thing. We're talking about things like pull-ups or maybe dumbbell bench or machine overhead press. Exercises that you have a big progression opportunity with, but they don't feel as impactful as those big hitters. Now we have 2 ways to simplify attacking these non-major compound movements. The first method is what I call the savage protocol. You can get in and do 1 savage set for exercises like your dumbbell bench or machine shoulder press or whatever the exercise is, leg press, hack squats. And here's how it works. After your warm-up set or sets, you do a set for maximum safe quality reps on this exercise. You push it for as many quality reps as possible, stopping that set when you feel like you're going to fail on the next rep or when you feel like your form's going to break down. Then this set is not over with. You're going to rack the weight for about 10 deep breaths, and then you're going to continue the set. This is the savage protocol. You're going to continue the set for maximum safe quality reps, then rack it again, take 10 deep breaths, and then perform another mini set of maximum safe quality reps. So you're getting into the gym after your warm-up sets, Doing a single set for maximum safe quality reps, taking 10 deep breaths. We're doing rest pause training, pushing for max safe reps again, taking 10 deep breaths, and then pushing for max safe reps again. So it's one prolonged rest pause set. It's going to give you a lot of value and a lot of impact and save you a lot of time using only one extended set. So your second option is what I call the Bulldozer protocol, and it's basically a little bit more of an extended version of the Savage sets. If you have a little bit more time on this exercise, you can do that single set, but instead of doing max safe reps and then doing 2 mini sets afterwards, you can extend this to 3 mini sets or 4 mini sets. So you could do max safe reps on, say, leg presses or machine overhead press, and then follow that up with 3 or 4 mini sets where you're taking about 10 deep breaths and then pushing for maximum safe quality reps. Because you're restricting rest in between these mini sets, this will go by very, very quickly. It'll probably take you about 2 minutes to complete this Bulldozer protocol, but it will be very, very intense and pretty much the equivalent of doing 3 normal sets. So again, the difference between the Bulldozer protocol and the Savage protocol is that you're basically taking the Savage protocol and extending it by 1 or 2 more rest pause sets. And again, I want to remind you guys, if you need a workout based on any of these principles, please check out the link down below. All right, 2 more tips left. Here is number 4. If you don't want rest pause training, this one's a no-brainer. Just use 2 sets per exercise, but here's how we're going to do it. Basically, I want you to use the same weight for each set of an exercise. We're going to do 2 sets. By using the same weight, you don't have to change weight, you don't have to calculate, you don't have to check your logbook. Let's say you're doing dumbbell bench press and you're using 60s or whatever you're using. We're going to use the same weight for both exercises. So you might go in on the first set, knock out 10 reps, and then on the second set, knock out maximum safe quality reps. So the second set in this protocol will be for maximum safe quality reps. You're only doing 2 sets, but you're getting a lot of value. And that first set is kind of working as almost a primer set. We're going to use the second set as a max rep set. That allows us to get in on that first set and get in a nice groove, get in some volume, get in kind of a working warm-up set, and then we attack the second set. Now, I want you guys always to remember that when you're pushing a set to the limit, we want it always to be safe and sustainable. You want to push for maximum reps, but you don't want to beat up your body. Always live to fight another day. All right, the last point number 5. This is a big one and something a lot of people don't think about, but if you're pressed for time, let's dump all the stuff that is very forgiving. What do I mean by forgiving exercises? Well, if you don't do a deadlift every week, or if you don't do a bench every week, or you don't do a squat every week, you probably have to come back in a couple of weeks and drop the weight a little bit because there might be a little bit of deconditioning, or you might just feel a little bit weak and disconnected from that lift. But there are a lot of lifts you can drop that are forgiving. You're not going to pay a penalty by dropping them for 1 week. For example, if you're doing stuff like forearm work or trap work or calves work or ab work or rear delt work, you can drop that sort of stuff and save a little bit of time during your workout, and you can come back the next week and pretty much just pick up where you left off using the same amount of weight. Now, this doesn't just apply to this kind of extra type of work. When you have isolation movements in your program like side lateral raises or pec deck or exercises you wouldn't consider big hitters, if you are pressed for time, you can completely drop them as well because they are very forgiving, and you can come back in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and pretty much pick up where you left off. So I hope you guys have found some value in this, how to reduce your workouts when you're pressed for time. You want to stick with your same program, but you want to chop it down a little bit, slice and dice it a little bit, and still get a lot of value from what you are doing. If you want more information on rest pause training, please watch this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.